Do you like incense? Do you like amber? Well, stay tuned and find out about what I think is the best amber scent for fall and winter. I'm Matt from Nosy Neighbors, the fragrance channel for beginners, casual users, and the fragrance enthusiast. And today I'm going to be reviewing the fragrance Adone by Re Profumo. Now, the house of Re Profumo is an Italian niche house from Venice. And I think this particular house has a very interesting story because its creation is based on a fantasy romance novel, based on an Italian fantasy romance novel called Re Profumo, hence its name. And in fact, what I'd like to do for you guys is I'd like to actually read for you the pamphlet that came with the fragrance, so you could kind of get an idea of the creation of this house itself, which I find particularly interesting. Re Profumo is literally a book in a bottle. Fulvio Fozzani, having devoted his life to luxury perfumery with a passion for the city of Venice where he lives, fascinated by the narrative capacity that every incense possesses, has dedicated his first literary work to perfume itself, making it into a collection of fragrances. Produced with the creative team and renowned master perfumers of Intertrade Group, the story is told in fragrances linked to the events and characters in the novel. From words on the page to scents on the skin, they invoke a secret ingredient. A decadent, languid Venice, as irresistible as ever. And as I said, I think I found that particular aspect of this fragrance house rather interesting. So, the author of the novel, Re Profumo, teamed up with a perfumery company and created fragrances based on characters and events within the novel. And I think that's pretty interesting. And with that, I will say we'll get on with the review. Adone is classified as a floral woody musk with notes of lime and incense in the top, amber and Turkish rose in the heart, and vetiver in the base. So there's not much going on here, and it's not a very complex fragrance. I bought this fragrance from Beverly Hills Perfumery for $210 for 50 ml. So it is quite expensive. But to be honest, you do get what you pay for in this particular fragrance. And then as you can see here, the bottle comes with this oversized cap, which is very reminiscent, at least to me, of Nasomoto bottles. So as I said, this fragrance is not very complex and only has 5 notes. But I think it's masterfully blended. Honestly, guys, this fragrance is gorgeous. It smells so good. It opens with lime and incense, but let's be clear here. You basically get incense and amber from the beginning to end throughout the fragrance. So it does make it a pretty linear scent in that respect. And this is a amber fragrance. This is an amber take, or this is a particular take on an amber fragrance. So you get amber from the beginning to the end. But when you first spray it on, you do get this lime mixed with incense and amber. And the lime itself plays this really subtle role. It's definitely a background. It supports the rest of the fragrances, and it's not very noticeable. But the lime itself, I think, it really gives this like green undertone to the fragrance. So it's not a very citrusy lime, and I I think the lime and maybe even the vetiver, which, by the way, I pick up with no vetiver. I don't pick up the vetiver at all. I think the lime and the vetiver in this fragrance keeps the fragrance very dry, which I really like about it. And actually, I think the lime itself, the lime at the top makes this fragrance very versatile. So while I think this is a fall and winter scent, I think you could wear this in the spring. And basically any occasion, maybe with the exception of hot summer days, it might be a little challenging to wear because of the incense and amber. But overall, I think this is a very versatile scent. After about 45 minutes to an hour, the lime really does begin to fade. And again, the lime only plays a supporting role here. It's amber and incense throughout. But as the lime dials down, you start to get this Turkish rose that begins to amp up and makes itself more noticeable. And where the lime adds depth and dryness to the fragrance, I think the Turkish rose creates this fullness to the body of the fragrance and really complements the amber very beautifully, in fact. I get kind of a jammy rose that really adds sweetness to the amber, but in a way that's not cloying. It's not overly sweet. It's just right. And it does take a bit for the rose to fully blossom, if you will, and pun intended there. But really, the rose kind of amps up as the lime dries down, really kind of masterfully. So it takes a while, but when it does bloom, as I said, it adds depth and it really pushes through the incense and the amber, and it's really beautiful at this point. And then from here on out, like I said, I don't really smell the vetiver, so it's pretty linear the rest of the way. You basically get the rose, and as the incense dies out, the rose becomes more prominent, and then the fragrance itself just kind of dies out off of your skin, and you no longer smell it. And that's basically how the fragrance kind of evolves. And I think this is a beautiful take on amber. And in fact, I think currently right now it's my favorite amber scent. And it is in the top 5 of all of my fragrances right now. It's top 5 of all time. And so I think when you first spray this on and you smell the quality from the very beginning, and there's nothing synthetic about this fragrance. And it's just a really wonderful fragrance. It's very elegant. It has this regal vibe to it that makes it slightly mature, but not like old feeling. And I think this fragrance is perfectly unisex. Men or women could wear it, and honestly, it's just so enjoyable to wear. And it kind of has this cozy feeling that makes it this fall or winter essence. But as I said, you could wear it during the spring or summer. I personally like this fragrance for formal occasions or when you're on a date. But as I previously said, I think you could wear this fragrance anytime. So with that, it makes it a really good, well-rounded fragrance for almost any occasion. I get about 8 to 10 hours of longevity or longer, so that makes it pretty good, actually. And I will say that I get moderate projection within the first 90 minutes. After that, it does sit closer to the skin, although you do have a scent bubble, but I will say that it lasts really long and it has good sillage. So maybe the scent bubble is really closer to skin. You know, that scent lingers as you move along and you create this scent trail, which is very awesome about this fragrance. And honestly, that's my review on Adone by Re Profumo. I think this particular fragrance has not been talked about at all in the fragrance community, and it's one that should, because it's a gorgeous scent. If you've experienced this fragrance, let me know what you think. Did you like it? Did you not? Let us know. And if you have time, help us out. Fragrances are a passion and a hobby of mine, but not only of mine, but of Sean as well. They're the person that you see and the creator of this channel. And if you could like or subscribe or even comment below, letting us know what fragrances you'd like us to review or what you think of each fragrance, we would really greatly appreciate it, because it would help us out a lot. We like talking about fragrances, and we like giving reviews and giving us our thoughts on fragrances. So Like I said, if you can, help us out, like and subscribe. And as always, from my living room in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, live well and smell good.